Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to Explain. Last stream today for the next 2 weeks? Or 3 is it? Maybe 2 weeks. Dang, it's gonna be long. Thank you for joining everybody. 15 months! Thanks a lot, Jay. Appreciate that. How is everybody doing? How should I do this? Okay, let's try it like that. 1 second. Because I'm trying to figure out this new layout. Jay has been helping me offline. Let's check it. Alright, there we go. Can you guys hear me properly? See me? Okay, let's see if this works. Let me see who we have in the stream. Yeah, Jay is first. Jay was online here like, I don't know, 30 minutes ago or more. Hey Jay. Glad you're here. Hey Thaddeus, glad you made it, man. Thank you. We will definitely need your skills today. Who else do we have? Alex. Hey man, thanks for joining. Glad you made it. Good morning, good evening, world traveler. Fasten seatbelts, please, everybody. Hey Jack, how's the hunting going? Gee, glad to see you here. How are you doing now? Hope you're feeling better. Nice. A small airport. Taxiing will be shorter. Yes, but actually I enjoy the taxiing part because it delays a bit the actual taking off part, which is pretty scary. Can't see Clumsy or hear him. What's happening? Are you Mumbai bussing me? Just woke me to keep me awake. It's 2 AM here. Oh yeah, it's a bit late. Don't worry, with all the happenings going on, I don't think you'll have trouble staying awake. The adrenaline will be pumping for sure. Glad to hear that, Chi. Glad to hear that, and glad you're back. Hope you're enjoying your streams as well. I've been seeing you online a couple of times. So anyway, today is round 2. Last week did not go so smoothly. We managed to take off, but we kind of got stuck in there because the game crashed in the end. Spoiler alert. Bananan. What is that? That's a bot? In here, in this channel, there's a bot who joins here? Wow, must be famous. Shouldn't Nightbot have the highest score or something? It joins in all channels. Ah, interesting. So yeah, let's see. Today is round 2. Hopefully it goes much better than the last time. I did do some practicing. I did a lot of learning. I did a lot of training. So hopefully I get to understand it more. What are these trucks doing? Fumbling about in my space. Don't you even try and hit my plane. Hey Brandon. Will there be beverages on board this flight? Oh yeah, you will need it to survive. Otherwise you'll be too nervous. You need some beverages for your nerves. This Texaco truck has some pretty evil plans. He actually went through my wing and I was going on the other side. What the heck are these guys on about? Hopefully not in the cockpit. No, I'm just having tequila. No beer for me. Oh, and by the way, I'm wearing the CG shirt today. Doesn't happen very often. If you guys want your own plugging time. Exclamation point merchandise, was it? Something like that. Anyway, let's get on with it. So I have a couple of plans. There we go, merch. There you go, merch. So even I forgot the command already. So we're going to be quite ambitious today, but we'll do our best. Let me switch back to FS economy. Volume is a lot better now. Ooh, what happened with my mic? What was wrong before? Right, let's go full screen here. Okay. So I actually found a job. So thanks Thaddeus for this tip, because I didn't know that there were jobs for the 737. So apparently you had to like look for the 737 not as a rentable plane, so they don't rent it out. They do have all-in type jobs like this 1A. And it just says airline pilot for hire. So they have the passengers, they have the plane, and all they need is a pilot, which is in this case us. Too bad for them. But this is going from Reading to Seattle, 417 nautical miles, bearing 360, headed straight up north. They are all loaded already. They have been waiting for a day because I took this job for a day, so they've been inside the plane probably, or maybe in the boarding gate for a day now. So let's hurry up and get some, take them to where they want to go, yeah? Your mic has low volume in YouTube videos. Ooh, that's interesting. Maybe it's the my mic volume in comparison with the engine. Maybe it gets drowned out a bit. Or maybe, I don't know. It depends on how the position is when I'm recording. It's just based on luck. Nothing scientific about my methods, unfortunately. Was that Flying Scotsman in the Texaco truck doing more World of Trucks jobs? What is the GOT? Game of Trucks? I like that. I'd like to get my hands on that. Game of Trucks. Yeah. Will we do a cabin walk? A seat close to the emergency exit if you still can. Everyone is trapped in now. We can try walking around. I haven't tried it yet actually. I've been focusing too much on flying. Anyway, so this is the flight. This is the Clumsy Airlines flight 003. That means it's the third attempt. First one, 001, is still stuck in the sky. 002 managed to land, but I was not very happy about the passengers. The passengers are probably not too happy about that. They probably got their back and their behinds quite sore with a firm landing. Anyway, that's the path. That's the flight. Reading to Seattle. Alternate, I'm not sure, they just decided that one. And then this one, I think we leave it as is because I'm not sure how it goes. We are flying with the B737-800. We are using ZIBO 737-800 for anyone who just joined. Departure runway is 30. Arrival runway is 16L. That's bound to change, but we'll see. We have 130 passengers, comparing with this one here. And this is our path. Now, if I feed that into Sky Vector, we should see that one. Yes, perfect. So we have Citizen Stars. We have Press 3 as the departure, OLM2 as the arrival. And then I think we have an approach as well. Are you sure it's still stuck? Maybe it's in space by now. Yeah. Fly before you walk. 013 Zulu. Should I change it? Because I'm quite scared that it will actually change some of the parameters because it's technically night flying if I set it at 0100. Maybe we can try. We'll learn for ourselves. Okay. Okay, that says it's valid. That's going to be the path. So we're headed straight north now. Unfortunately, I don't have how do you say, the nice sceneries for Oregon and Washington, but I guess it won't be that important because we'll be above the clouds anyway, and we won't be seeing much anyway. So beautiful terrain isn't that important in this case. I guess that's mostly important for VFR flying. So let me try and generate it. And let's see what it comes up with. 013 Zulu. I had to even Google what Zulu means, but apparently that just means it's UTC. SCS Oregon and Washington. yeah. This is a teaser to the upcoming Washington DLC. There we go. Clumsy Airlines Flight 003. all that stuff. Block fuel 6931, I have to remember that. I think I set that already. That looks good. If we look here, now I did some digging on how to read this, so hopefully I do a much better job today. We're going to be cruising at flight level 380, that's 38,000 feet. Block fuel 6931, we'll need that later. This is the route we're taking. We are departing from runway 30. These are the waypoints. And we are arriving on the Seattle Airport 16L. At least that's the initial plan. Okay, let's do this. It looks pretty similar to what I generated yesterday. Yes, I think that's what will happen, Jay. But I'm thankful enough that Pro Mods 2.40 got released for the promoters earlier, so at least I could do some videos. Otherwise, I would be totally left in the dark. Yeah, so thanks Pro Mods team, you have perfect timing. Thanks for having mercy on me. All right, we'll need this a bit because I want to show you the departures and arrivals so that we are aware of the flight plan. So that says Crest 3 there. That's the departure procedure. So if you look for Crest 3, that's this guy. So yeah, this is going to be quite complicated to look at in the beginning, but I try to filter out the noise. So we're going to be departing from runway 30, right? So this one saying takeoff runway 30. Turn right immediately after departure to intercept and proceed on what is RDD? R355 to Crest DME fix. So this is just saying we're be departing from here 30, and then you see that right arrow there. That means turning right, so that we are headed on bearing 355, heading 355 degrees until we reach the crest. Yeah, and from there, I think we are done. Let me see. Did I understand that? And then we go to whichever flight path we've planned. So this is a little bit more simple because we just turn right and head that way. But yeah, okay, fine. So now I guess we have to make sure that the fuel we have in FS Economy is consistent with what the flight plan has computed. So it's 6931 here. I'll need my phone because I found a converter, unless you know of some other tools. 6931 is in kilos, but FS Economy is only taking gallons in terms of fuel. I remember this is the correct one already, but let me just double check, okay? Fuel conversion, yeah, I just googled this. So if I go for one sec, 6931 kilograms, 6931 kilos to Jet A. I'm not sure if it's even Jet A, but I'm guessing it is. US gallons 2280. Okay, so that's not enough. So let's load that up a bit. I would be raging in Japan. Yes, that's true. Reading Municipal Airport, RDD. Ah, okay. Windows calculator has this by default. Also for fuel, because the kilograms to gallons, it depends on the, what do they call it, density? Oh, I suck at science. So the one for water has a different conversion versus the jet fuel. So this should be 2280. It has for everything. Ah, that's good. So what should I pick then there in the Windows calculator? Okay, 2280. Let's refuel that. Does it have 2280? Okay, it's good. Weight and mass. And then there's something specific for jet fuel. I'll try that next time, but this is also pretty good. That's good to know. Okay, let's go back to Twitch so I can see the stream, make sure that it's not fumbling about. And Twitch crashed on my mobile. I should still be online though, hopefully. Okay, how do I watch my own stream? a bit egotistical. One sec. This is what happens when you try things out of nowhere. There we go. All right, I see it. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I'm back. I'm back with you guys. I want to convert from kilos to gallons. So the flight plan says we need 6931 kilograms of fuel. And I need that to be converted into gallons. Let's see if that's consistent. Of fuel. Okay. Let's go now into the plane and try to set things up. Yeah, that's the tricky part because it's different depending on the liquid or something. There's the truck again. Okay. You always have the same problem in flying airliners and FSE. You mean the conversion? Yeah. Alright, let's do this. Let's align that a bit. Let's remove the glare. Alright, let's get the fuel in there. I have to alt tab though because I need to refer to the sim brief. Okay, let's go for fuel and weights. There should be weights here. Yeah, that's the one. So the fuel is 6931, but in this case, because we are working with FS economy, so what I do is I actually log in. I start the flight and it loads the fuel automatically. Now Thaddeus, maybe you can help me out with this one. What does that mean? Why does it load fuel in the center? Is that normal or should it be... I mean, I'm guessing, where is the priority to fill up the fuel? Should it be even on all tanks, left, right, and center? Or should it be left, right first, center first? What it's doing right now, it's kind of doing most of them in the center. Alright, let me double check. Payload is 13.6. That's very different. But if we look at this, the zero fuel weight, zero fuel weight is 55.2. So we have to make that aligned. 55.2. So that means we need to add 2.8 more. Something. So maybe 13.8. Let's just try this out. There we go. 55.2. And the takeoff weight will be 61.9. That's actually pretty heavy. Let's reduce by 0.3, so 13.5. Let's see when that changes. 61.9 takeoff weight. I think that's the most important thing. 61.9 takeoff weight. Okay, that's perfect. All right. Just going to more than 60% fuel to not waste time. Ah, I see. FSE just uses the most basic functionality of X-Plane 11. You must maintain weight and balance. Normally, the more advanced fuel management UI of the ZIBO would start with the wing tanks. That's what, yeah, normally that's how it works. With my flights before FS economy, only the left and right tanks had fuel, the center had none. So it was a bit weird, but I guess it can still work. That kind of shifted our center of gravity though, but we'll make that work. Yeah, both wings and center. Okay, good. So now we can start with the checklist. I guess, so from what I've watched, normally you wouldn't start with the checklist, you would start with the flow. And then you would just use the checklist for verification that you did everything right. But in our case, we'll do a bit of a shortcut because I wouldn't remember it anyway. So let's do this. I prepared some camera angles ahead of time so we don't fumble about too much. Tank and wings can carry for long flights. Ah, that's why you have center. Okay, makes sense. Alright, let's do this. I hope I don't miss anything. I don't skip anything. That's been my problem mostly. Battery. Turn it on. We need standby power is on and guarded. We need ground power to be on, so we'll need to go back to the tablet, make sure that GPU is connected. The what do you call GPU again? Ground power unit. That's that guy. So to make sure that we have power here even before we start our engines and APU. So that lights up this light here. That means we can enable ground power. So now we have power. Good. AC/DC voltmeter. This one put to battery, this one put to ground power. The left and right IRS mode, put them to nav. This one move to the right so we can see. It will need 1 minute to align. Normally I think in real life it needs like 11 minutes, but thanks to simulation we can actually shorten that time. Alright. Cab util power, that's this one, that's on. IFE pass seat power, that's on. Bye, Mrs. Clumsy. Emergency exit lights armed and guarded. Exterior lights are good. Anti-collision lights are off, and I heard that whenever you're connected to ground power, you actually have to put your position lights to steady, which are basically the nav lights, the green and red lights. Green on the starboard, red on the port. I'm still getting confused with these terms. It's naval terms. So put that on steady. Something sounded, so that probably means the IRS is aligned. Yeah. Window heat as required. Now I always forget this. This is one of the problems in the previous stream. That's why we got very foggy windows when we took off. So I'm going to turn them on as early as now, so don't forget. IRS and airport ref position. Okay, let's set it up in the FMC. Hi, Miss Clumsy. Thanks. Alright, FMC, here's how it is. Let's zoom in a bit more. The nav data is out of date, but that's fine, we can work with that. The updating that requires a paid subscription. I was tempted, but I'm going to try without it. And I think we can survive. Just a bit inaccurate when you like prepare flight plans. So depending on the airport and depending on the updates. So we have KRDD as the reference airport. We are in gate 1. Actually, I don't think I need to fill that out, but let me just try. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. And what we need to do now is to set our position, our coordinates. And what we can do there is we can go to the next page. We have GPS left and right. I think that's the one we aligned, maybe. So we copy that, just one of those. Those are the same anyway. I guess that's just a redundancy. And we set that in here, and that will update these guys. So now the plane knows where it is. Yes? That's one part done. Let's go back to the overhead. Alright, let me make sure that I don't miss anything. Probe heat as required. Temperature is around 20 degrees, so we don't really need that yet. Anti-ice, don't need that. Engine hydraulic pumps are on. Here, left and right. Electric hydraulic pumps are off. Normally, when you have, I think in real life they turn this on because the pilot monitoring would be walking around and checking if the hydraulics are working, if there are any leaks. But in our case, no one's really doing that, so let's turn it off in the meantime. Fuel pumps are all off at the moment. Trim air is on. Now this one I still have to study. The air conditioning system in the 737 is very complicated. Packs, trim air, bleeds, all that and how they connect with each other. My mind hasn't really captured the concept yet, so now I'm just following it blindly, whatever it says. But if you guys have inputs, let me know, okay? Isolation valve is open over here. We are good. Left and right recirculation fans are in auto. These are these two. Engine bleeds are on. That's this one and this one. Fuel before APU start. Make sure it's loaded. Let's double check that the fuel is indeed loaded. Yeah, it is. So we have a big one in the center and small ones in the wings. I'm not really sure if that's correct. Doesn't seem like it. But fine. That will still work. Okay. And I think you can set I think, how did we do this? Alpha Tango Oscar. But this is just the temperature. So the plane is split into 3 parts in terms of air conditioning. You have the one in the flight control here in the cockpit, and then the passenger cabins are split into 2, forward and aft. And I think you just set the temperature here based on those 3 areas. That's how I understood it, at least. Correct me if I'm wrong. Alright, cruise and landing altitude set. So now we go back to the flight plan. If you remember, we were set for flight level 380, so that means we set cruising altitude to 38,000. And let me know if it's too small, okay, so I can zoom in. And then landing altitude, what I do is I just hover over here, click on that, and I see altitude is 433 feet for Seattle. So we round that to the nearest 50, round it up, so that's 450 feet. Something like that. As long as you follow the checklist, you're all good. The rest is all crap Feco. Yeah, if I miss an item, AC is easy. Just need bleed air from either APU engines. Have to keep them off for starting the engines. Can be on before and after. Okay. Yeah, I do want to understand the science behind it though. It's quite interesting how complex that is with all the different buttons. But yeah, I think the concept is simple. I mean, the overall what it needs to do. But it's quite interesting, isn't it? How they can make that so complex. Fasten seatbelts, put that auto. Love that sound. And now we go back to the FMC for setting the route. This will take a bit. Let's zoom in. This will take a while, so it might as well focus. Just like women. Mrs. Clumsy might be watching. KRDD, so that gets copied here because we put it as our reference airport. So to help us, we can just place that there. Yeah. Destination is KSEA, Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha. Put that there. Runway, I need to remember, I think it's 30. Let's go back to the route here. Route says 30 indeed. Okay. That probably could change depending on the clearance, but I mean, I won't be working with air traffic control here. It will be too complicated and it's a bit derpy anyway with the default X-plane stuff. That's my excuse. So we'll just follow whatever is in the flight plan. So what I can do is, instead of putting that in manually, I can press the depth and arrival button. Here I can click depth. I can pick runway 30. And then if I remember correctly, the SID that we will need is crest 3. So I pick that one, crest 3. And do we need anything more? I don't think so. I might have forgotten. Okay, but let's leave that as is. Okay. Arrival is 16L, I think. Yeah, 16L. Normally, I think they don't put this in yet because probably that will change along the way. But for us, I think we are good with that. And our star is OLM2. That is there. Perfect. And we pick that one. Hey, BTS. Thanks for joining. Hey, Kelly. How are you guys doing? Thank you for joining. We're getting a bit technical here. Hope you guys are fine with that. Alright, and I picked that pay because if we look at the approach for 16L ILS, 16L ILS, go here, 16L ILS, that one. Zoom in a bit. So what we're actually doing is, because it's 16L, so it's actually facing south, but we're coming from the north. So it's something like we'll need to do a U-turn. So we'll be coming from the south here. Where my mouse is where we are. So we'll be coming from the south. We're headed north like this. And then we'll need to make some kind of U-turn so that we're facing 16L that way. And it was asking, I think, what the waypoint we're going to get to, and this is the PAE, Pain, that one. And the other one is Griffey, which is this one. So I just picked the farther one, so we have a bit more allowance, a bit more time to adjust ourselves and get settled. But I'm not really sure if that's the right one, but we'll see. We'll make do. So that's why I've selected Pay. If you aren't sure if you need additional fixes for arrivals departures, you can check in the full waypoint list further down in the flight plan, the one with the TC and TD. Ah, yeah, good point. Let's double check. Okay, so we do have that over here with the actual stuff. So Crest 3 is our SID, that departure procedure. Crest, yeah, I don't think there is. OED, yeah, I don't think there is. Good. So if you look here, the Itmore, Shata, Tomad, I don't see them here, so I guess we don't need that. Alright. Going back. Up to the route. We'd have a discontinuity because I haven't put in all the legs yet. So we have the departure, we have the arrival, but we don't really have the ones in between, so I have to put that in. So after Crest, the flight plan says, just go through here so it's easier, direct to OED, and to BTG, and to OLM. So OED, Oscar, Echo, Delta, put that in there, that's direct. The next one is BTG, Bravo, what is T? What is T, guys? And Golf, Tango, I don't know. And then direct to OLM, Oscar, Lima, Mike. There are two of them. One sec. Sheesh. How do you know? It's Tango? Okay, great, thank you. Maybe we can check here. OLM, maybe there's a waypoint here. If we look. OLM... That one, there we go. 4658.3. 4658.3 is the first one. Okay. Do I pick that one or this one? Okay, there we go. Alright. So now there is no discontinuation. If we double check in the legs, everything seems to be fine. We'll see how that works later on if something screws up, but we'll see. If you spot any weird stuff right now, let me know, okay? And then normally, oh, then let's put in Clumsy 003. There we go. Now, normally you would not activate it yet because you would need like to verify it with the pilot monitoring, yeah, with the co-pilot, and do that stuff. But since we're alone here, we can execute that already. Right, perf init. 99% of the time, the first one is closer. Ah, yeah, makes a lot of sense, Thaddeus. Thanks. So here, what we can do is we can just click this one so that the zero fuel weight we computed in the tablet a while ago just gets copied into here. That's very convenient. There you go. Reserves are 0. Not sure if that's such a good choice. Cost index, you can actually see that from the top right of the flight plan. That one, 74. And I think the lower that is, the more economical it is. So the higher it is, the more willing the airline is to spend fuel, maybe to get there faster. And then flight 380 is our cruising altitude. There you go. You can also put in some additional stuff here, and we'll do that. The cruise wind. Now what I've learned is instead of putting the average wind in there, you actually go to your legs here, look at the top of climb, and get the value from there. 318051. Bearing 318 at 51 knots is the wind. Put that there. And then the ISA deviation is positive 2. So we put in 2. And there you go. And then the, what is transition altitude? 18,000. So I'll put that initially here. And then they say, the real pilots, what they do is they put in a 100 there if they don't have clearance yet from ATC. And then when they do get clearance, they just put that to 0 so that they know that they haven't gotten clearance yet. So they'll just roleplay that. Okay. I'll execute that as well. So normally this is where you would double check with your co-pilot. 2 hours later. Yeah, this is actually the fun stuff, at least for me, not the actual flying. In case of airliners, the flying is a bit, it's automatic, right? So you just look out and it's going to be a sightseeing tour. But this is where we are fully involved. So this is where I'm super excited, all the preparation. And I think that's one of the differences in flying an airliner versus flying a smaller plane. This is more nerdy. Alright, outside air temperature. Now we'll need to check with ATIS probably. Let me just check. Airport KRDD. The frequency ATIS is 124.10. Let's go and plug that in. 124.10. And then plug that in.
Muni information mic.
Now I understand, yeah. Weather. Now I understand a lot.
Wind 360 at 11.
So different.
Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 11,000 few. Temperature 18. Dew point -2. Altimeter 3021. Arriving runway 34.
That's actually not consistent.
34. Advise on initial contact. You have mic.
The flight plan said we go 30, but the ATIS is saying 34. Which should I follow? 34 makes more sense in terms of the weather. Should we change it? I'm a bit lazy. Let me double check if the SID we have currently is compatible with runway 34. Yeah, it works. 34 works as well. So I guess we just follow that. We change our route. Just looked at the Cessna 170 yesterday. Ooh, nice. Knowledge is perfect. Yeah, the reserves it's 0 because I set that in the flight plan. So if you look at reserves, it's where was it? Is it extra? Yeah, but I put 0 in there. I'm not really sure what it should be though, but I'm guessing it shouldn't be 0. So that was something wrong with what I inputted. But thanks. How was the Cessna, Alex? Did you get to go inside the cockpit? Hey, Vickley Vlog. Alt-N plus FinRes. Alternate plus FinRes. Oh, okay. So that should be 2.5? Ah, interesting. Okay, good one. Right, let's put that in then. 2513. But if I look at the reserves... Wait a minute, where was it? So the extra fuel is 0, so that's a different thing. Extra fuel is different from reserves. Now I know. 2513, let's plug that in then. Let's go to the FMC. And of course I forgot the temperature already. Alright, fine. Let's change departure and arrival. Let's change that to 34. There you go. But it should still be the same thing. Alright, active. Let's double check that the legs are okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay, and where was that? Was it N1 limit? No, that's not. Perf init. Yeah, the reserves. Most people don't know this. Good info. We want to keep it as realistic as possible though, so we'll put that in. Let's see. 2.5 then, is it? 2.5. Put that in the reserves. There you go. Thanks. You like TBM? What do you mean? You never start with nothing extra. That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Something seems wrong with not having any extra.
Reading Muni information November. 1400 Zulu weather. Wind 360
so temperature is 18, altimeter 3021. Temperature is 18. Temperature is 18. So hard when you have to remember stuff. So I have to remember now to put the slash in before I put 18 for outside air temperature so that it gets put on the right side, not on the left. There you go. And one says that for takeoff we have 99.5 out of 100, I'm guessing. Yeah, so it's there already now. And then what they do actually is normally they have this app for the performance tables, and normally they would try to compute some other factors so that they can derate the engine so they don't have to go full power and still take off properly. But I think that requires a separate app which I don't have, so we'll just stick with that one. Anyway, the engine is always perfect in this case. And by the way, I forgot something. I would need to go to the route data, and I need to go to the top of climb, I think. Top of climb is around OED, and then I look at the wind there, 318051, but now I put in the average wind in here, 32144, so that it applies on all the other legs. Something like that, I think, based on what I've watched. That just makes a more accurate route and timing. Maybe helps with the planning as well, with the fuel and the takeoff. No, probably not takeoff. Alright, anyway. Am I missing something? Wait a minute. We were... performance. We're good there. And one limit, we are good as well. Takeoff, alright, we're takeoff. Flaps 5. CG. CG, look at that. Hey Patrick. Which one that is? Thanks for joining, man. So now I know, yeah, if you put in all those details ahead of time, then the QRH will come up with the recommended speeds for you, and you can just put that in here. Normally you would compare this against the performance app you have if they're consistent. If they are, or at least 1 knot away, then at most 1 knot difference, then you should have your calculations correct. So for us, V2 is 144. I'm just going to set that here. Okay, looking good. And now I think we are good, except for the trim is 5.04. So I just set that. Now this is a bit manual. I find it a bit weird that it's like it's just based on gauges like this and not on a real and like accurate value. I'll put that in somewhere around 5. Yeah, something like that should work. Mrs. Clumsy is doing fine. We are preparing for our Japan trip. Actually, I'm going to the embassy later after the stream to collect the visas. Wish me luck. Fingers crossed. How big is baseball over there? For me personally, it's not big. I don't even know if there is a baseball like field here in Singapore. So, sorry, I'm pretty clueless about that. I'm guessing it's not so huge. Alright, now we've done that single part up to the trim. We can go back to the altimeter, and of course I forgot what the altimeter is. So let's play the 80s again.
Reading Muni Information November
3021. 3021. Let's plug that in. So change the setting here, 3021. There we are. And I also set it here. I'm guessing this is some kind of like backup in case the primary flight display, the PFD, fails. You still have something like this. I'm not really sure. Just keeping it safe. Okay, good. Auto throttle is off. Yes. The IAS selector, yeah, we put that already. 144. Altitude, set cruising altitude, yeah, 18,100. We don't have clearance yet. And fuel flow switch reset, just to keep it fresh. Minimums, radio, barrow. Maybe you can help me with this one, guys. So the minimums here, what are they for when taking off? Are they related to the when you raise your flaps? And is it based on the departure chart or something? Let me just double check that. Should you see some minimums indicator here? not really sure what it's for. Singapore is a very small country. Yeah, it would require a lot of space to get those in. Although I think the football or soccer for our US friends is bigger. Not sure if that's like the most famous sport here. So I'm not really sure what to set in the minimums, but maybe 1000. Because normally I think you kind of do that on 1000 altitude. You raise your flaps at 1000, but it depends, I think, on the departure. Baseball is huge in Japan. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. There are even movies about it, right? I remember like what, Mr. Baseball or something. And I think that just reveals my age. So I'll set this to 1000. I'm not sure if that's correct. I am a bit doubtful, but it's not that big a deal. You don't even need to set it. You still take off and everything. Minimums are for landing. Right. Yes, normally it's for landing. And so by that time, when we reach the minimums, the pilot flying will have to say if you land or if you go around. But for taking off, I'm not sure what it's for. So I'm guessing it's just for erasing the flaps. It doesn't seem to make much sense though. Maybe we don't need it. I don't know. Anyway, right, going back to my checklist. I hope I didn't miss anything. Altimeter set. Where am I? This is the problem with manual checklists. I lose where I am. Root perf, trim, altimeter, APU bleed is off. I missed that actually, but yeah, it's off initially. This is just to double check. Left aft fuel pump. Where's the radio and oh, it's way down there actually. I missed a couple of stuff. I skipped a couple of stuff. My bad. But it's nothing critical, so it's fine. So we'll be turning on the fuel pump so we can start the APU. APU bleed is off, and then we can start the APU now, which is over here. Just set the start. 1, 2, 3. Let it go. EGT climbs, and what that does actually, from what I've read, from what I've watched, is that the APU is over here, so you see the smoke, not really smoke, the exhaust now in there. What it does initially is it opens the valve there, I think, so to let the air come in, and now it's heating up, getting ready to get powered. So now EGT is slowly normalizing to the operating level, which is around, I think, 400 degrees. Ailerons and flaps and spoilers, kind of, yes. And there we go. So it's, in this case, it's 500. So now the APU is ready, and we can now enable the generator. That switches us from ground power, which we were at. Remember, we were using the ground power here, the GPU, as the source of power for us. Now we are using the APU, which is basically a smaller engine here at the back, so that we can turn on air conditioning already and stuff like that, but we will not in this case. Alright, so now that means we can actually get rid of the GPU and not have risk of oh, and I have to start the timer, my bad. Start the timer, because you can only, realistically, they say in real life, you can only turn on the APU bleed 1 minute after you turn on the APU, the generator. So let's wait 1 minute, and in the meantime, let's disconnect the GPU. That should get rid of the GPU unit there. Very nice mod. And now we can go back. Let's wait for 1 minute, and we can enable the APU bleed. That means you know elevators too. Yes. Now I know a bit more about it. Yeah, flight controls and stuff. Oi, that guy is racing. Oh, and I forgot something. No, it's good. We are still in the preliminary pre-flight procedure. So I think at this point, the pilot monitoring is still doing the walk around. After we're done with this, the pilot monitoring will step into the cockpit, and then we'll close the door. Okay, that's 1 minute. Let's close it. Now we can turn on the APU bleed. I think in the sim it doesn't really matter, but we're just role playing here. Okay. Good. And then the AC/DC volts meter, put this to APU gen, which is over there. There you go. So now you see the volts. I think this is mainly for visuals. You don't even really need to change this. Alright, and that ends the preliminary pre-flight procedure. Yeah, a totally different kind of RPG. Alright, let's have a look at the passengers before we close the door. How's everybody doing? Actually, we shouldn't have boarded the passengers yet, but they're here already. Early birds. Well, they've been here since yesterday, so I guess they've been waiting for a bit. There's even in-flight entertainment right here. Alright, let's go back here. Try to Google minimums for takeoff, then they seem to exist, but are super complicated and something you have to calculate. Okay, cool. Might be your niche as flight sim YouTuber. It could work. Who knows, right? You're a very short. I'm squatting down for workout. Yeah, I'm squatting down. Alright, now we can close the door. There we go. Can we lock it somehow? I think the locks are somewhere here. Yeah, flight deck door, maybe? Unlocked, auto, or deny? Deny. Okay, let's assume that the pilot monitoring is here already. And now we can proceed with the pre-flight procedures. Okay. So, flight directors on. Both left and right. Auto throttle is still off. Indicated airspeed. Auto throttle is still off. Indicated airspeed. It's 144. That's V2. Cruising altitude, fuel flow. That's the one I did already. A bit in advance reset. There you go. Minimums, yeah. Landing gear is down. 3 lights there. 3 lights up there. Speed brake lever is down. Let's double check. Thrust levers are closed. Engine start levers are cut off. Parking brake is set. Yaw damper, turn it on. Wait until the warning sign goes off. There you go. And now we can board the passengers. Alright. Okay, we are getting ready for pushback now. So, I guess at this point you would get the ATC clearance. You have to get it. And now we can turn on the electric hydraulic pumps. Fuel pumps with fuel. We have fuel in all left, right, and center tanks, so we turn everything on. Position light is already in steady, and then we arm the auto throttle, which is here. That says armed there, so that's consistent. Alright, so now we can request for pushback. Let's assume that we got clearance from ATC for pushing back and for our altitude and all that stuff. But the thing is, I don't really know where we should go, how to get to runway 34. Someone's late, someone's rushing into the plane. 1 sec. So what I can do is I can go to the map and actually get a bit of guidance in here. What's a yaw dampener? Don't ask me. It dampens the yaw. It helps to get a coordinated flight, right? Something like that. So that you don't have to step on the rudder whenever you turn. Hey Barry. Glad you made it, man. Just in time. We're almost about to push back. Fancy answer. Alright, let's zoom out a bit. That's where we are. Runway 30 is this one, this diagonal thing here. 34, I'm assuming, is this one, this long runway here. So if you want to go there, we push back, face the south, and make our way taxi through these ones. Normally you would have like actual letters and numbers, right, for the taxiing, but that confuses me a lot, studying aircraft diagrams and stuff. But I mean, if you want to roleplay it, we can take a look quickly at Reading. There's an airport diagram somewhere here if I can find it. That one. There you go. So we're actually somewhere here. So we push back, face the south. We take... I guess we have to start at the beginning of the runway, right? So we taxi to Alpha. Turn left a bit. Or should we taxi? No. Yeah. Taxi Bravo, Alpha, and then turn left there. I'm not sure why this doesn't have any letter. And there's this elevation 490. Is that elevation? 49. This is 490. That's 492. Okay, that's fine. I wonder if this has any minimums in the airport diagram. No, I don't think so. That's quite interesting. If you see, elevation in the beginning of the runway is 490. At the end of the runway, it's 505. So does that mean it's not fully flat? It's a bit racing up. Okay, I don't understand the other stuff, but okay, gotcha. Avionics and radar installed. No, I don't know where they are physically. Maybe you can point that out to me. I know that there's a flight data recorder at the back, somewhere here maybe. But I'm not sure. Is that the radar maybe? Those bugging things. Jutting out things. And I already downloaded the Better Pushback app and it's so good. Last week we didn't have it. So now I'll show it to you. Better Pushback is a genius. So you can pre-plan your route where you want to face. And it gets you into this map. And you just kind of use your mouse wheel. So we want to face south, right? So we can just do that. And we can... Actually, where is the taxi? Which line should we be following, guys? I guess it's this this middle one, right? So we can actually face it like that. And then that green line is helping you to so that you're fully aligned with the line. So good. It's so easy. So set that. You had KFC last night. Oh, I'm craving for KFC. I've been craving for KFC for a few days now. That the voices are localized and have different accents. Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice. But yeah, I noticed the voices were changing. But I've been flying always in the US, so I didn't notice yet. The one not on the mud. Yes, that's a good plan.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Pretty cool, right? So can we just turn that off? The warning just turned it off immediately. Okay, good. Auto throttle armed, steady, we are good, and I have to turn on anti-collision lights because we are about to move. So turn that on. So that's basically the beacon in the smaller planes. That's that one. And also we have one below. So the ground crew can see that, and if there's anyone still in the vicinity, they'll know immediately they have to go away because we're about to move. Alright. That's all set. We can now request for pushback. Let's assume that we got clearance. Okay, everybody's good. And I think, realistically, if I remember correctly, the pilot would do this chime, this no smoking sign, to signal the cabin that we're about to push back or something. At least that's what I remember. But I didn't really read that anywhere, so might be wrong. Okay, let's request for pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
There we go. That's the guy. You can actually see him drive across. And this is one of the newer ones. The newer kinds, I think, which actually like lift the plane a little. Like it clamps to the nose wheel, lifts it up, and then pushes you back. Has some very strong hydraulics or something. Oh, rip! Why are trucks moving all over the place here? Yeah, so that guy would like put this part here inside here, and then he would clamp it. Okay, maybe I can just show you. That's easier.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Yes, good. I don't think I have to press anything. Yeah, he'll just move in. And then he'll clamp the wheel and then raise it up a little. There you go. So he'll close that somewhat. Some gears are moving in there. Can you see it in your screen? Okay, good. And then I think he'll raise it. So if we go inside here, you'll actually see that we are raising just a little bit. Yeah, so it's raising the nose wheel a bit and then lifting us up. Jadar.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Bypass pin is inserted. That's good. So now we can release the parking brake so he can actually move us. You should do the safety briefing for us. You know, with the blowing of the the emergency exit lights and everything. I leave that to the flight attendants.
Pushback, and you may start engines.
There you go. Thank you. Starting the engines. Let's go. We are moving. So let's go to the overhead. Left and right packs are off. So actually they don't have air conditioning yet. Let me just double check. No one on the right, no one on the left. And if there's anyone, sorry for you. Packs are off. Engine ignition right. We can actually start the engine now. So what I'll do is I'll just here toggle that to ground, and that should increase N2. You can hear the engine starting to rumble. Oil pressure has started to rise. N1 has started to rise. At 25, N2 I will increase the cutoff to idle. That should then continue the startup process, and then we observe it. Like normally they say the pilot flying has his hand over here the entire time to make sure that nothing goes wrong, and if something goes wrong he immediately cuts it off. That sound you heard, okay, start cutoff. That sound you heard was the toggle here going back to auto. So we basically do the same thing on engine 1, which is on the left. I guess I had to look first. N2 is climbing. Oil pressure.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Thank you. Set that.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
At 25, we raise that. N1 climbing. EGT is climbing steadily. And then start cutoff. Good. So I think we have stable engine startup. So now if you look at the engines, we're good. Thank you. They are both moving now. Great. He can't reach the safety paperwork. It's only tiny. Blowing off the... Okay. Rip. Let's go back to the overhead. We have a couple of things to do. The generators we can now start.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Thank you. We'll look for you on the right. So what this does is actually the guys will be moving to the right, and they will need to show us that the bypass pin has been removed. So they would have a flag with a red banner somewhere. So someone should be waving that at us to confirm that we are all good, and I guess that's him behind this bar. But yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, you can see him from here. Good. Alright, so let's continue the engine startup. So generator is on. We are good there. Electric hydraulic pumps are good. Battery generator 1. There you go. Probe heat, we can now turn that on. What is the probe heat for, guys? I haven't researched about that yet. Is that like the pitot heat for the smaller planes? Anti-ice we don't need. Left and right packs auto, so that will, I guess, start the air conditioning. And then we turn off APU bleed. And then we can turn off the APU because we are now running in the actual engines. Good. Oh, so that's the one. Okay, just a different name. Cool. Alright, so now we have the engine started. We are pushed back properly, and now we can taxi. Not perfect alignment, but I'll take it. So we're actually in alpha. I was pointing over there, but that's apparently GA parking. So if you go back to the airport diagram, we're not actually over here. We're actually here, terminal. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're actually at alpha. We just go straight, turn left until we reach runway 34. Okay, that's simple enough that I should be able to handle those directions. Okay, let me see. APU bleed off. Okay, everything good. All right. And then at this point, I can turn on track IR because it's way easier to have track IR off when you're flicking all those buttons. Is that JDAR? Flaps set to take off. So set 3 levels. So we can see the flaps there. We set flaps 5 for takeoff, right? So that is positioning itself bit by bit. And if you can look here, yeah, those are extending. I love the view of that from the window seat. Okay, and I think we're good there. All right. Flaps 5 set. 5 there. 5 here. Green here. We're good. Taxi lights set to auto. Runway turn off. Let's turn that on as well. So taxi lights are... Where are the taxi lights? Maybe somewhere... The runway turn off lights are here and here. Yeah, they are the ones pointing like diagonally. Taxi light, I guess, is somewhere pointing in front. The lower part. Something like that. It's used to detect the exterior temperature and air temperature, so that internal temperature can be maintained to normal temperature inside the aircraft. Ah, the probe heat. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. So that's why it's called probe. Okay, good to know. Alright, and now we should be good to go. Let's release the parking brake and let us throttle up just enough so we move. Finally, we're moving after more than an hour. But I mean, I guess I can make it shorter. But I mean, I do want to explain what I do so that people who are watching the stream and those who will be watching the video in YouTube when this is uploaded, and those who are just starting will have an idea as well, because I know I got so lost when I watched other videos before which just dived into what they do. So I try to explain it as well, because that really helps in understanding. Like when I watched some videos and they just do this, it's like, okay, but why? It helps a lot more to remember for me if I understand what that thing is for and why I need to do it. I remember there are also like speed limits set for taxiing. I can't remember if it's like 10. Was it, how do you measure it even? 10 knots for turning and 30 for actual taxi. Something like that. I do see the ground speed there is 11. Yes, exactly. And most people who are flying flight sim, especially those who are just starting, won't understand. So I want it to be accessible for beginners, because I had a lot of problems when I just started and still do. Here we go. You brake here right before the runway. That was a short taxi. Alright, so let's start with the before takeoff procedure. Engine switches, put them to continuous. So in case the engine dies suddenly, it will start up automatically. I think that's how I understand it. Feel free to correct me to be a more accurate statement there. Auto brake RTO, that's a rejected takeoff. So that just means if you're in full throttle already and something goes wrong and you set the throttle to 0 to idle like this, then the auto brake would determine that you did failed the takeoff, and it would automatically set the brakes. So it would try to stop you, so you don't go off the runway. Hey! That was the... Thanks, Arifin. It doesn't say. Okay, I cannot read it. Can you help me type that message? Thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. Yes, the reverse thruster, I have it set here as well. So I can actually, yeah, that one. Hopefully, okay, let me turn on the auto throttle again, because that actually turned it off. Yes, I found it. Morning all. Ah, okay, thank you, Jay. Thank you, Arvin. Good morning. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. GG. Yes. Finally found it. Alright, what else do I need? I can probably take off taxi lights. Runway turn off, I think we leave until 10,000 feet together with the landing lights. And speaking of landing lights, I have to turn them on. And strobes I have to turn on as well. So that one, if I go to the overhead panel, this should say position, strobe, and steady. So in addition to the red and green lights on the wings, you also have the actual strobes, which are flickering now. That one, the white lights on each side of the wing that are blinking. Good, and that is something you turn on before you get into the runway, and you keep them on while you're in flight. Okay, we are good there. Position lights, landing lights are on. ATC, yeah, normally you would need the transponder to be set if you're coordinating with ATC, but in our case, not really, so I'm just going to set that to TARA. I didn't even read what that means. Heading bug, runway heading. Okay, I might need your help here, guys. So if we go to the airport diagram, okay, that one tells this properly. So runway 34 has an actual heading of 345.7. So that's what we need to set here. 345, because it's runway 34, but it's not exactly 340. Somewhere in between. 345.7. Let's make that 346. That just helps us align in the middle of the runway. Good. What else? VNAV and LNAV, turn them on. Why is that off? Why can I not turn that on? Did I miss something? Okay, VNAV is on. Sometimes LNAV doesn't turn on and I don't quite understand it, unless I missed something. Okay, but let's remember to turn that on later. One more time. Okay, it doesn't really work. Okay, good, fine. Lower ECAM display, blanket. So now I know how to blanket. You just press this thing here. At the MFD, you can set different windows, or you can turn it off. And I think the rationale behind that is so that when something goes wrong, that will pop back up and the pilots will be able to notice that easier because something pops up. If it's blank, then that means everything's good on the engine side. Have a good night, Kelly. Captain, where are we going? We are going to Seattle. We are starting in Reading. Hopefully we manage it, because to be honest, I know a bit about this all the way until takeoff, but after that I'm a bit blank, especially the approach and the landing. I'm super clueless, so don't get your hopes up, right? I have only managed to land once, and it was not a smooth landing at all. I had to really go manual, and it was a mess. So that part I still have not been able to understand. You have to use your feelings. Yeah, I was relying too much on the autopilot because I was expecting the autopilot would do most of the stuff for me. Apparently not. But yeah, if I just managed everything manually, I think it'll be much better. I didn't even know you had to turn off auto throttle at some point before you land. Okay, let's turn off here. This is a perfect passenger announcement pre-flight. Yeah, disclaimer, guys. I don't know how to land. Speaking of passenger announcement. Maybe I should have done that, huh? Let's try to do that before we go. So you can see the runway heading on the PFD, on the primary flight display. Let me point it with my mouse, that one. So we want to be pointing that way. It's a bit off though. So maybe what I'll do, something like that. There you go, that's somewhere in the middle. Now I'm not sure because I think we have a bit of crosswind. Let me turn on the brakes again. I think there's a bit of crosswind. .350. It's actually not very good weather, but I mean, no, it's basically headwind. It's fine. It's fine. PA system. Maybe I should have welcomed them beforehand, huh? Well, never too late. Whenever you do flight sim, you get tired before you go to gym. Yes, it's a good warm-up. Sometimes it's hard to see if it's wrong flight plan or just the ZIBO being more stupid than the normal plane. Should work after reaching the first points in the air. Ah, you mean the LNAV, yeah. If autopilot doesn't like the departure. Ah, I see. Okay, let's turn it on later. Remind me, okay? Alright, but we're good there. And I think we're all set. Even the yoke is nervous. Look at how fidgety he is. Okay, he's not fidgeting anymore. Now normally I think how this looks is you have to set the takeoff here, and here you set the legs on the other FMC for the pilot monitoring, but I'll change that later because I am more interested about the legs journey, the details on the legs. That sounded bad. And yeah, anyway, let's go. Let's take off. So parking brake. Let's set the timer. I think the timer is so you know how long the engine has been working, or I don't really know what the rationale is in detail, but something along those lines. So you don't really just go full throttle immediately. You set the levels to around 40 N1 first, so you can see that climbing over here, and that is mainly so you do not suddenly accelerate. And each engine might have different speed of acceleration. So if one engine accelerates faster, then the plane can actually veer left or right. If you set it to 40, at that point they accelerate almost the same. So they set it to 40 first, and then I go press toga. I just press it on my button, press toga, and off we go. And I keep one hand on the throttle, so if anything goes wrong, I cut it off. Try to stay in the middle as well.
D1, rotate.
Rotate. There we go.
Positive rate.
Positive rate, so we lift the gears, the landing gears. And then I follow the flight director.
400.
400, so I can actually now turn on autopilot. But I'd like to hand fly for a bit. Just a bit more.
1000.
1000. So now I think we can actually move flaps up. But yeah, I'll turn on autopilot so we can take a look outside. Autopilot is set. LNAV, turn it on. There we go. And we are now flying. We have taken off successfully. Flaps. Yeah, I set flaps up around 1,000 feet. I'm not sure if that's too late. But now it's looking good. And so the autopilot is now doing what the departure procedure said, which is after you take off, you turn right towards 355 or something like that. So it kind of overshot a little, but now it's making its way up. We are climbing 4,700 feet. We are going 4,700 feet and climbing. And right now the altitude we have is 18,000, but after a while we're going to assume that ATC, air traffic control, will give us clearance for the cruising altitude, which is 38,000. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, from here on out it's going to be sightseeing mostly, and then it gets pretty tricky again upon descent. It's a little bit gusty as well from what I've seen. Alright, so let's go Avitab here. Let's go and check out the map and do some sightseeing. Nice to see you got the wheels in sooner too. Yeah. What I read is whenever they say you have a positive rate of climb, so you're climbing up, you can actually lift the gears already. So when I hear the pilot saying positive rate of climb, I put the gear up already. And then here I think we can actually set the landing gear instead of up to off. And the main difference of that is when you set it to up, you still have some hydraulics keeping the landing gear up, and when you set it to off, then that kind of pressure is released, so it just stays where it is. Something along those lines, but don't take my word to be 100% exact. That's what I remember though. Alright, at 10,000 feet we can actually turn off the landing lights, runway turn off lights. We actually need to go into the standard what do you call that, standard altimeter. So I press this guy, and that instead of 3021 will set to a standard, which is what, 2992 or something. Entering the clouds now. Not sure if I should be doing anything else. Auto brake I can now set to off as well, since we've taken off successfully. So that is only for rejected takeoffs. What else did I miss? I think that's good. Flaps are retracted, auto brake is off, engine start switches. Yeah, I can turn them back to auto. There you go. And that is the extent of what I know. The descent and approach? No. Pretty clueless about that still. You can see! Yeah. Window heat is doing its work. You can also take a look at the map here. I'm actually flying over some pretty cool mountains. We'll be making our way north here. Passing Medford. Anyone familiar with Medford? Eugene, Albany, Salem, Portland, Longview, Olympia, Tacoma. Where is Seattle though? I'm not sure. It's there somewhere. Hopefully the flight plan knows better than I do. Yeah, it's somewhere there. Because if we go north more...
1,000 to go.
1,000 to go. Oh yeah. Okay, let's assume that the air traffic control gave us full clearance for the flight 380. There you go. So we keep the plane climbing up until that point. Also, they kind of do something else. They kind of do the... Where was it? If I go enable the legs here, we'll see the heading. 335 and then 026. They also set something here, and I think this is basically a backup in case the autopilot fails, so at least you'd still know where to go and you won't be totally blind. I think they also set the heading, but let's just keep that as is. Man, that looks good, doesn't it? Take a walk around the plane. So we're going to open the door. Shouldn't be doing that, but fine. We can go through it. Let's take some photos first though. That worked. It did work. Make sure you're flying over a bridge. Oh yeah, that's true. Let's hope there is a bridge somewhere down there. Good. Bye. All right. Actually, yeah, we can set up some cameras. That's nice. So what I can do is I can create a new category, but let me double check first that we are not missing anything anymore. Can I relax now? Yeah, everything looks good so far. Let's turn on the terrain in the airports so we can see the mountains here and the nearby airports. Let's give it some time to scan the vicinity. There you go. And then we can zoom out a bit, I think. Top of climb. Yeah, so that's the top of climb. That's where we'll reach 38,000 feet, more or less. And the waypoint is actually quite far. The next waypoint is 86 miles away. Okay. That's fine. So that means we have a lot of time. Right, good. So now we can, I guess, plan some, create some angles. Are you guys with me still? I hope so. Okay. It is starting to lag. Please don't. Probably some scenes loading. Okay, let's wait for it to stabilize before we do anything. So I'm scared to move right now. We wouldn't want this plane to get stuck in the air again. Let's give it a couple of seconds. In the ZIBO, it's also good to always use the step functionality of the legs page to check if there are no too sharp turns in the plan. Oh yeah, set it to plan and then check the step. We can do that now. Alright, let's try that. So if I set this to plan, and then we can check the route here. Step. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. But then again, maybe I should zoom in a bit. Let's check this one. Yeah, that seems fair. That's a bit sharp, but I think we can manage that. Now that, I'm not sure where that links. There seems to be... What does it mean, vector? Just... You're on your own, basically. From fort to pay, you kind of do your own stuff. Seems to be disconnected somehow, but it doesn't alert me. So yeah, that might be a tricky thing there later. We'll see how it works. Get that back to map. Okay. Things have stabilized from a frame rate point of view. Kinda-ish. Let me turn off track IR actually, because it might be contributing to stuff. Alright, let's go control panel. Let's add a new category for passenger camera.
Added camera 1 to category 3.
It's disconnected without an error because it's ATC vectoring that is expected there. Hey, thanks a lot, Alex, the gifter at work. And welcome back to the sub community, Tajas. Gifted 12 subs in total. You've like subbed for another year with all the gifting you've done. Thanks a lot, Alex. Really appreciate that. GG, man. Let's set this to passenger. Oh, there's actually a walk mode here and then snap to track IR, but I'm not sure how that works. So I think we'll have to study that first. Let's remove head shake. Retain mouse look position. Okay, yeah. And then let's go back and let's check the wing. Let's become a bit taller. Everybody good? This guy is a bit groggy, walking sideways and everything. Is this the entire plane? Let's go straight here. Bye! Okay, yeah, that's the entire plane. It's a bit smaller than I expected, actually. That's cool. Not too humongous. Hey, Gail. Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for the nice words. I'm glad it makes a bit of sense somehow. Because, to be honest, I'm not an expert here. But I really like it. I really like it, learning about these things. So I try to share what I've learned and hopefully they also make sense. Yeah, let's get a bit of window seat action in here. I think this one will look better. Maybe not with the face there. Yeah, window seat view. Isn't that cool? Oh, that is the perfect shot right there. Oh, that is amazing. Let me save that one. Turbulence. How do you know? Because it's shaking? Should we do an announcement?
Added camera 2 to category passenger.
It's always good to have the pilot walking back through the plane asking the stewardess for more tequila. Airline license costs $100,000 for complete training in Canada. Ouch. Yeah. I actually took a look here in Singapore. We have a flight school here and they have a simulator for the Cessna 172, I think. And I think it costs around $200 Singapore dollars to get like an hour with the flight instructor. But I'm thinking, what if I can save up that much? Maybe I can try it, you know, like the real simulator experience. That would be pretty cool. Or maybe even get on the plane physically. But then again, I might be too scared for that. We'll see. Let's get into position here. Get some angles going. This is what I was doing in my last flight to Guangzhou and back to Singapore. I was positioned right here and then I had my phone just recording the entire thing. It's so good. Man, that looks nice. Save that. If you go back to the other camera, okay, that works. And disable the smooth transition, don't need that. You can just make that instant. Yeah, perfect. So we can maybe announce the turbulence. Don't really hear anything. Actually, I'm not sure how long this flight lasts, but I was planning to fast forward it when we get to the cruising altitude. Like, we are actually getting there now. Perfect timing. 38,000. We are there now. So now I guess I can do an announcement. Level off. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the trip, guy said. Kind of hard to hear him, bit soft. And now N1 is going down. We don't need as much power to continue cruising like this. That's good. And now I'm getting a bit nervous because, as I mentioned, this is the extent of what I know. In the descent, the approach is a bit tricky for me. So maybe in the meantime, what we can do is we can study the legs, because we have a kind of discontinuation there, right? The vector. So we can determine what we can do in between Fort and Pay via sky vector. So let's go sky vector. Where is Fort and Pay? OED, BTG. Okay, let's see. OED, BTG. Yeah, OLM. And then inside OLM, there's Lace, Arvad. I guess that's the arrival procedure. Okay, so maybe what we can do is we can open the arrival procedure, which is called Oscar Lima Mike 2. Okay. Wow, look at that. Star charts. OLM2. It's Olympia 2, I guess, huh? Okay. So let's see. That's OLM. That's Olympia. And then that's Fort. Yeah, that's so between Fort and Payne, how do we go there? Basically. So what is the expectation there when we get on Fort and then we have a vector in the flight plan? How do we tell the FMC this is the heading we want to go, this is the heading we want to go? Like, assuming ATC tells us which way we should be heading, how do we plug it into the FMC? That's Fort in Painfield. Yeah, vector 343. And then Payne is... I don't get it. Will we just wing it? That's probably not going to be very good. CPU and GPU is doing better, but it's still overloading sometimes because of all the clouds, but it's way better than before. And I think what Tadu suggested helped a lot, removing the reflections in the shadows, but actually there are still shadows. I'm not sure. If we look at the speeds here, our ground speed is actually 383 knots. Our true airspeed is 446 knots. Wowzers, right? That's what flying at 38,000 feet can help you with. It's easier to see it by using steps. Sometimes you can just jump to the next point, sometimes we use heading to fly a softer curve. Ah. But if you will need heading, then that means I will need to use the heading select here. Is that right? Yeah, because the steps are a bit confusing. They are cutting off. Okay, so I use heading select. Let's try that later. Did it change something? There you go. Legs. Wait a minute. Set it to plan. There we go, step. Base, Ariad, Fort, and then this one from Fort to one sec, let me go to the FMC here. I think that will be easier. This view, yeah. So from Fort, and if I zoom out so we can see how it goes there. Yeah, look at that. It's discontinuing there because once we go to Fort, I go straight there, and then I should use heading select to turn myself around and then arrive at Pain. ATC would vector you on a heading or would tell you to go to one of the next points. So you do the same thing as without ATC. Okay, that's an additional complication I'm not sure I can handle. We'll have to handle it. We'll have to handle it. There we go. Okay, let's go back to the map. Actually reaching the next point now, and less clouds. Nice, we can see a bit of the ground. Is it just me or is it a bit shaky? That's beautiful. Those kinds of arrivals are pretty rare in SimBrief. Maybe you're just lucky. We had like 2 of those. Yeah, I've had like 2 of those as well, but I've only had like 4 trials all in all. Normally you get the flight path without vectoring in SimBrief. Maybe I chose because the runway I chose, actually maybe we can still change it depending on the wind. We can maybe change landing runways. Because based on the weather, it might not make sense to land at 16L. No more tequila. That's the last batch in my mug right now. Okay, let's see. Maybe we can get lucky. Let's study the weather. Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha. Right? It says trucking stream. Unfortunately not. I was planning to, but I could not manage because I still have to record a couple of vids so that we would have something lasting until I get back. It's going to be like MWF videos, but still, at least there will be something. And I'm going to feature promos 2.40 the entire time, each like new place, bit by bit. There's now also weather in the FMS of the ZIBO by using ACARS. Ooh, let's try it. Let's try it. So right now it's saying 200 at 12 knots. Okay. And the runways you have are 16. Oh crap. Okay, so it's 16L is still the right one. Dang it. Okay, let's try it. So if I go to the FMC, I go to the index. No, not that one. How do I get to that point? The main menu. There you go. ACARS. 80s rec. Oh. Interesting. What does that mean? VHF in progress, 1604. What time is it? 1605. That's Zulu, right? Maybe that return. Nah, maybe we just wait. Oh, there you go. It's a bit okay. There's a bit of delay. ATIS. There you go. 0923 Zulu 200 at 12 knots. So it's basically giving the same thing as that guy, but just a bit slower. But that's cool. Yeah, at least you can use the FMC for it. Nice. I don't really understand these, but okay. Cool. Oh, and yes, one more thing. This is for the landing, right? And I have to set this. I have to set the flaps and speed, and there are different VREF recommendations here, I guess, at 40 degrees. Normally, with landing, do I have to go at 40 or is it 30 fine? Because in my previous attempts, whenever I go 30 or whenever I go 40, the autopilot just goes mad. It loses control. It just like pitches up and down madly, and I almost crashed at one point. I don't think 40 degrees in autopilot plays well. It will change the amount with the amount of fuel. Ah, okay, interesting. Alright, thanks. Good tip. Alright, let's go back to the passenger view. The wing. That's beautiful. Goodness, I'll have to take a photo of that. Even if it's a bit wobbly. You can even actually see the wings bending, like flapping around. That's so cool. Let's add more. Let's add more cameras.
Added camera 3 to category passenger.
Flapping around, yeah. You're right. It does sound a bit weird. Which angle would be great, guys? Inside the passenger cabin. Which angle do you look forward to more? Look at how wide, how big that actually is. That must be pretty shaky. So many J-doors. Oh my goodness, yeah. Everybody's watching the same movie. What is that? Did you just see that? Clouds appearing. Yeah, look at that. Oh no, that's just the shadow. Those are not clouds seeping through the plane. That would be pretty dangerous, I guess. You can open the door. Maybe not now. You can maybe get this kind of view here. Save that. Maybe what we can do as well is get some exterior views going, like this one.
Added camera 2 to category exterior.
And then what we can do, we can maybe get a front view of the plane. Oi, what's happening? Ah, one sec. Retain, enable temporary. Retain, enable temporary. Good. Actually looks quite good, huh? Just have to center it a bit. That way. Is that centered enough? I think so. Okay, let's save that. Let's add one more.
Added camera 3 to category exterior.
Let's get one from underneath maybe, so we can see the landing gears later on. Pretty shaky. What's the wind like? It does seem a bit strong. How do I get that info? I can easily open the map, right? The what do you call it? The cheating menu. But how do you get that in real life? Oh yeah, in the display I think there is something, right? In the cockpit. It's on the map in the cockpit. Ah, right. The wind direction. Okay. Okay. 1 sec. I'll be right there. Is that good enough? Let's save that. So we have 3 views. Not enough, but I guess good for starters. Okay. 62 knots. Pretty strong winds up top, huh? Is that normal? It's headwind as well. Well, a bit not straight, but yeah. Check the legs here. 120 miles away. Should we fast forward now? Where's the top of descent? The next waypoint actually, which is like almost 200 miles away, should be descending already. Remind me, Thaddeus, how does it work? If we see 17,000 here, and what does the A and B mean? Does that... Oh, no, that's not B, that's an 8. But what does the A mean? And does it mean when we reach OLM, we should be at 17,000 already? Or when we reach Oscar Lima Mike, we should start descending? I'm guessing it's the former. Above, below. Ah, above 17k. I see. Alright, so it's not really 17,000. So we can start descending near that, as long as by the time we reach Arvad, we are at 13,000. So that's what the A and B means. I was thinking about that. It will show you the distance TD with Prague. Oh. Okay. Prague to TD, 145 miles. Ah, nice. And you can also see the wind here. How's our fuel? Fuel is good. Right? Nav status, what does that mean? Nothing, okay, good. Flight 380. Oh, there's actually ETA. That's what I was looking for. ETA to top of descent. 1704. Wait a minute. It's 1613. Actual time of arrival 1600. So we reached the OED at 1600 Zulu. ETA to BTG is 1631, and 1704 is, I think, the airport already. That's not the top of descent. This is a different heading already. Right. Good catch. So I have to look where the top of descent is, more or less. How do I check that? Can I see that here? Somewhere in between BTG and OLM, I guess. Or maybe even after, actually. Yeah, I can... Yeah, that's the only way I know when I zoom out. But it might be really zoomed out. There we go. So right after Bravo Tango Golf. Oh, that doesn't make sense at all, does it? But that one helps. Okay, thanks. So if we look at the prog, 1630, so around 1635 maybe, more or less, is when we start our descent. So I can actually fast forward a bit, so we get to the juicy stuff. And then we can see. But I guess I can just increase the ground speed instead of increasing the rate of the time, so that I can fast forward faster. So I'm going to do it. Hey Sheng, how are you, man? Glad you made it. We actually managed to take off. There you go. It's a bit shaky though. Shortly before TD, you will get an FMS notification with a small alert. If you want, it will want you to reduce the set altitude. Oh, okay. I normally set it beforehand, but I want to see that. Yeah, because there have been times where I actually forget it. I actually don't remember to set the altitude, so it doesn't descend at all. Thank you for following and welcome to the channel. Wow, that was actually a lot earlier. This activity feed is cool. And feel free to say hi so we can all greet you, or feel free as well to lurk. More than welcome to. Either way. Alright, so let's fast forward. Ground speed 16 times maybe. It's going to be very taxing on the CPU, so I'm hoping it remains stable. And I'm trying not to move my mouse so much, so that it doesn't have to render so much clouds, so many clouds. Distance 50 miles. 48. 40. There's BTG. We're almost approaching it. I'll slow down a bit, guys. I will slow down in a bit. Okay, there you go. Go back to normal speed. There you go. Because when you have that intense ground speed, the plane cannot manage to turn properly. Alright, we just sped that up a bit. So now the ETA is actually a lot earlier, 1619 instead of 1630 Zulu. So we actually fast forwarded around 10 minutes more or less. Okay, that's cool. Is there? I guess there's 2 pages here. Oh yeah, there you go. Headwind 50 knots, crosswind 22 knots left. True airspeed, vertical deviation, and all that stuff. Is it deviation? Maybe? Okay, there you go. Yeah, the clouds are really taxing my system. Not sure if there's any other setting I should be fumbling about with, but yeah. This tool should be helping me out, but it's still providing a lot actually. Maybe I can lessen the clouds, huh? Because currently it's set to 0.95. Clouds density. Density max, density min. It's at the default values. Question is, which is more taxing, the lower value or the higher value? We're almost at the top of descent. So let me see. Density minimum. That means it's lower clouds. Density maximum. Okay, let me maybe lower that a bit. Maybe I'll put that to 0.95. Something like that. Yeah, that way. Yes, that's amazing. Yeah, that looks amazing, Alex. Only thing is it's not ownable, so I couldn't show it in the videos because I needed to have control on the destination. Looked pretty cool though. Did you manage to try it out? Shortly before... Okay, right. Let me see. Clouds density. Maybe the clouds puff size is what's getting me. Puff size min. Puff size max. Yeah, let's lessen the clouds. Save a bit on performance here. In terms of FPS, minimum is 30. Yeah, but it's not doing anything there. Maybe it cannot manage it. Okay, I think it's doing the best it can already. It's still very low frame rate. That looks really good though, doesn't it? Let's take a photo there. So I haven't gotten any notification yet. We're almost at the top of descent. Maybe I should just go down, huh? So maybe I should take a look at the legs. It should be 17,628. No, wait for it. Okay. Patience. Let's trust the FMS. How's my fuel doing? Yeah, I still have a lot. It's really focusing on using up that center tank though. That's cool. So that should come in the form of a beep, right? Something like that. Let's have a look where we are at the map. Oh, there we go. I hear it. Reset MCP altitude. Oh, that is pretty cool. And it even pops up there. Amazing. Okay, good one. Good thing I waited for it. So we should set it to what then? 17,628. Okay. So maybe I'll set it to 17,000. Actually, I can come pretty close there. 17,628. Yeah, that one. Alright, and the warning came off now. Good. Wow, that actually worked. Amazing. So we should be doing a PA then, telling that we are starting our descent. Alright. Yeah, usually we'll need a bit of speed brakes as well. Okay. Does it automatically apply speed brakes, or should I, as long as it's armed? There you go. Descent has started. Drag required, there you go. So I arm it. And should I... Yeah, its speed is still increasing. Okay. Expecting action. We will see some action very soon, I'm sure. Because I don't know what I'm doing from here on out. How do I know if it has enough drag? Yeah, we're still climbing, I think. Yeah, they're still not open. But do we need it? Because my speed is actually good already. But maybe it can dive deeper if I open the speed brakes, huh? Okay, let's do that. But I want to check it out though. I want to see how it looks from here. So I'll open the speed brakes. That's the one. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's amazing. I like that. Alright, and how that looks here. Yeah, that's it. And yes, when it starts to throttle up like that, I guess it's when I can let go of the speed brakes, right? Supposedly. Yeah, I think we're good. Now the drag required warning doesn't go away. So I'm not sure if I should be doing something else, or should I just clear it manually? I'm looking at the descent checklist. It's saying here descent procedure. Engine start switches should be set to continuous again. Why? Fasten seatbelts less than 15,000. Okay, looks like we are slowing down our descent here. Are we still good? Yeah, we're still good. My favorite moment is whenever we pass through the clouds. You know, when we're like climbing through clouds, and once we go beyond them and just see the horizon and the sun and the clouds under us. And then the opposite is also amazing when we go down, and once we clear the clouds and we see the entire landscape, it just looks so good. So I'm hoping we'll have a chance for that here. Just I'm looking at the air conditioner. Why is it still on? Should have even the air conditioner is malfunctioning here in the room. One sec, let me just check. What happened? Okay, the warning came off. That's good. Actually not working. Reducing the apartment air bleed. Yeah, exactly. Boy, turn it off. Okay, it won't turn off. I'll have to restart it. 1 sec, guys. Okay, and we are approaching diesel point. I'll need you to guide me here. I'm a bit clueless about this now. The FMC still has a very fast speed, like 321 knots. Goodness. What is that thing that is flicking off? Why do you start flicking things without my knowing? The FAA found that the aircraft problems began with the pilot's trying to adjust his air condition. He was distracted. Let's have a look here. 70,000 above. 270. Okay, so we'll be decelerating to 270 soon. So I guess I should arm my speed brake soon once we reach that diesel point. There we go, 270. Now it's the notch here has decreased, so maybe I can help out by applying some speed brakes. $737. Hope it's not the new Boeing. Yeah, it's not the Max. That is still under software upgrading. Okay, if it won't be able, it will ask for a drag. Okay, let's see that then. Let's trust it a bit more. Never trust the ZIBO and be ready for manual input. That's good tip. That's my problem with the that's my main problem with the, what do you call, with the landing. I rely too much on the automatic systems. You can also increase the back angle to make it easier for the autopilot. Oh, how do you do that? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't set anything yet. We are close to the vector point. I'm scared. It's the larger ring beneath the heading selector.
1,000 to go.
Oh, here. I see. Oh, so that's what that's for. Okay. It's currently set to 20. So I can increase that to 30, right? Safely. Yeah, that one. Hey, Sky Diva. What is that for? That doesn't sound so good. I think I actually have to lower down to 13,000. But I'm not sure if the FMC captured that one. Maybe not. In this case, if I have to go down more, do I have to press the Alt-Inv thingy? $343. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I think I have to start going down here. Not sure if that made any sense what I did. Let's hope it works. But I needed to trigger the descent because I think I didn't set that right. And why has it stopped now? That didn't seem to work pretty well. Help. I need some help here. Where are we going? We're going to Seattle. Came from Reading. The autopilot was descending to 13K. Was it? I thought it stopped. Okay, maybe I don't know. It's not doing anything right now. Dang it. Turn on VNav. Does it update? There you go. I think it updates. Alright, now it wakes up. Just turn it on and off. That worked. have a look at the map. Pretty close. Seattle, why? Because that's the job that was available in FS Economy. Seattle is there, is it? No, that's different. I don't know where that's where it is. Okay, good. Should actually be flight level 100 by now. And I think I have to turn on fasten seatbelt sign, although it's at auto anyway, just to be sure. Continuous, set that. I'll just follow the checklist. What else should I be doing? Altimeter. I should set it in a bit, maybe once we're lower than 10,000. ILS course and frequency. Under 18,000. Ah, maybe. I was thinking 10,000, but yeah, you might be right. Actually, don't have an accurate identifier, an accurate altitude when to set that. So let's set it now. 3024. Okay. There you go. Thanks for the heads up. We are on the vector now. Okay, this is going to get tricky. You can use VS, it works like in the Cessna. Okay. Good. Heading. Where is VS? Should be somewhere here, right? That one? There you go. Let me get my track IR back. And I think we have to descend a bit faster than that. Might need some speed brakes. Vector is actually 172. I think I have the wrong heading here. Or did I understand that wrong? Yeah, I understand that wrong because I think it should be around 300. I read that wrong. Let's follow this line, wherever this leads. Use VS to descend heading to steer. You can go negative 2000 and apply some brakes. Right, I think we need some brakes, that's true. Yeah, sounds good, Thaddeus. Glad you're here. I'm a bit clueless now. That actually seems dangerous. We're pretty close to those mountains. I don't think I want to go that near. So I think what I'll do is I'll level off here. Like so. And just go parallel that vector. Should actually go down to 5,000. Soon. Maybe 8,000. 8,000 by the time we get to PAE. Pain. Set that to 8.1. Lots of mountains here. Lots of mountains. You guys see PAE? I think that's the one, right? That guy.
William R. Fairchild INTL weather. Wind shear alert. Wind 270 at 19 gust 29. Visibility more.
That's a different airport. But I think we do have to set the ILS things now. Let me zoom out a bit more. That's the one. That's where we want to go. PAE. So I guess we go straight. Then we just vector around to our best. Let me actually go to 250 as well. Is that right? If I turn on LNAV, no, heading, no, my bad. Not on intercept, heading, yes, no worries. Rejoin the path in a soft curve, not really a perfect situation for beginners, I know, right? Way to go. Just watch the mountains, good call. This looks so nice, we're actually right below the clouds here. The right. I don't want to stay close to those mountains at all. Good view indeed. Good view indeed. Yeah, you can check the mods GR. There is an unexplained tab there, so you can check the plugins I'm using and the other mods I have. So now I think I'll just go straight a bit, make a U-turn somewhat, try to make a U-turn, and then we'll see how it goes. So if I am looking at this, tell me if I'm reading this right. What does that -3 mean, PAE? Honestly, I'm not sure. If I go and check prog, Fort Vector PAE 357. So that's where I should be facing? No. Because Vector is 357, PAE is... No, PAE should be around 160. Close to the runway heading for landing. So yeah, I'm a bit lost. We'll see. We will see how it goes. Speed brakes. Do we still need speed brakes? I don't think so. Let's remove them. No idea either. 169, 165. Let me just plot that in here. Okay, let me go through the checklist before we proceed here. Descent procedure, landing lights, less than 10,000. Continuous, do we need runway turn off? I don't think so. Fasten seatbelts are on. Engine start switches are continuous. Altimeter is set. Altitude set for approach. Not yet. How should I set that to? ILS course and frequency. Ah, yes, we need to set that. Not yet. Yes, good point. So it should be 110.3. So if I go to the radio, 110.3, I just turn it on for both. And now we should be set. Yeah, I can use, but it's a bit less roleplay. Okay, I think we can turn around now, right? Yes, let's do that. So I'm going to change my heading. Maybe turn 90 degrees. Let's set that way. let's see if we can manage this. Let's not turn as much though. I want a bit more allowance so we can get there, have enough space. Let me have a look at the legs again so I have an idea. Should I set my flap speed now? Is it correct for the ILS? What do you mean? ILS, yes, we're doing ILS. Should I set 40 degrees flaps? 240, I should set the speed to 240. How can I select my speed? Should I press speed here? Sorry, what do you mean by set the approach? For the ILS, you don't only need the frequency but also the course. When you use the map, it does it for you. So how do I do that? So this one, I'll set it to 40 degrees, okay? 133 knots. There you go. Go back to the legs. We have to go be at 240 knots here. So I want to slow down and I want to switch to PAE. So can I you can check the course on the M map or Avitab. Ah, is that it? So you have to set that. Okay, ILS 16L, course is 165. So, then I have to set this one here for both? Didn't know you had to set that for ILS. That's the first time I heard about that. Thanks. I see. Okay, and then how can we tell the FMC to stop this vector and move on to pay? ILS, you need to set it. Okay, thank you guys. Glad you guys are here. So maybe that's why it doesn't work for me every time. And you need to set it for both? So I want to... Should I maybe press this pay and then switch it there? Because I think I can do that so that I can move to the next leg, but I'm not sure if it should be automatic. Okay, let me do that there, and then I can click this vector. There you go. And then I can change it, right? There you go. Okay, now I think it can find its own vectors. So I can just LNAV, should turn on its own. Execute. Needs to be precise, both needs to be set to the correct one. Makes a lot of sense, especially for auto landing, huh? And now the speed should also be set to 240, but not yet in this one. I think I have to slow down now, or it won't descend. Ah, I see, I see. Okay, good one. Alright, so I also set my heading to 165 maybe, so that's the same with the runway. Actually, is that the runway heading? Magnetic. Maybe? Clouds look beautiful, goodness. If only I didn't have to focus as much, I can actually appreciate that more. 5,000. Okay, I think I can set that to 5,000. Not yet. Well, we don't need it yet because by Kenmo we need to be above 5,000, which is still there. But when we reach Pei, we should be at 240 knots, and right now we're still at 250. So should I manually change it? You can set it to 0. Autopilot will hold altitude restrictions. Ah, I see, I see. But I think I have to set that to like for missed approach. So you have to set it to somewhere for the missed approach maybe. Like right now it's missed approach is let me see. Go to legs. Milt is 5,000, so I think I have to keep it at 5,000. Okay, from there I should be able to turn right. And I think I have to set the minimums as well. Probably not 1,000. We'll have to take a look at the approach. Where is the approach? Olympia 2 arrival. Crest 3. No. Approach 16L. ILS. There should be a minimums in here somewhere. Can you guys see anything? I don't see it, guys. Maybe it's standard. I don't know how it works. I'll just set it to, I don't know, 400. Well, I guess it's not that important because it's not too foggy anyway. Let's keep it at 1,000. You can start the flap schedule. Yes, I need help on that. So I think I need to slow down. So put that up is there. So I'll set it to 201, right? Something like that. And when it reaches that point, then I can actually
1,000 to go.
Why is that blinking? I guess we're near the land, maybe. And I think I need some speed brakes. Already planning for a missed approach. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's what they say, right? ILS is there. Vorlock. That's the one, right? Supposedly. Why am I descending so much when I set the thing to 5,000? I don't get it, guys. What's happening? Oi! No, what's happening? I don't get it. Something's wrong. Oh, the vertical speed. No, don't use that. Don't use that. Something's definitely wrong, guys. Approach. What the heck happened there? I have no clue. I have no clue. Now it's turning all the way around. And I'm not sure why. Now that is not very not very healthy. So what's happening, guys? Missed approach? I think so. Well, I can't even set the VNav, LNav. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. Nothing is working. Maybe we can still make it, I am not sure. But we'll try to use the ILS now. Help, I'm on the ceiling. Oh my goodness, what a disaster. But the lights won't work. What's happening there? Where are we, guys? Oh, it's raining. Is it? Maybe. Suddenly very bad weather. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's what you call a stable approach. If it tries to kill you, just turn off the autopilot. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Speed brakes are up. Use the landing gear. Okay, yeah, good tip. Get some drag in. And now we are finally on the right path. Okay. That was a bit... and the runway is right there. Okay, since it's raining, that means we need a firm landing, right?
2500.
So that means I have an excuse to actually get it a bit harder landing than usual. Start to use flaps gradually. Yes, there you go. Set that down. Use the flap schedule. Well, by the time it reaches that speed tape with a 1, I'll set the flaps to 1. And actually have my speed brakes on already. Which is a bit advanced, but fine. Set that to 1. We're still too fast, right? I think. Set that to 2. Is this really how you do this? Like bit by bit? It's not advanced, you don't need the brakes. Okay, good. So I can just remove the speed brakes then. I'll just arm it. Thank you. We are landing.
1,000 minimums.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
So I think it's time to turn off autopilot, turn off auto throttle. What happened?
Flight slow.
500.
Slow.
Did we lose something?
Flight slow.
Not sure if we did, guys.
400.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight
Oh no!
slow.
Oh no!
300.
No 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 no!
Flight slow.
200.
Flight slow.
Oh, look at that!
100.
Oh, I think it's because of the
50,
fuel.
40, 30, 20.
It might be because of the fuel. Look at that. Something
Yeah.
went wrong with the Hard landing. That was not too bad. Look at that. More speed. Something went wrong with the engines. It might be with the fuel. And I actually forgot to set the auto brakes. So let me set that now. That might be it, huh? And I even forgot to turn on the reverse thruster. Because oh my goodness, all hell breaks loose. Engine failed actually. Oh, actually we got an engine failure. It's not just about the fuel. So what happened, guys? Why did the engines fail? I have no clue. Well, no one died. Oh my goodness, yeah. I wouldn't exactly call that a smooth landing, but we did not crash so much. So I'm not sure. Let's turn on the APU. Because I think anytime soon the engines will fail fully. I wonder what happened. Would be a nice case study. What kind of things went wrong? That thing won't even turn on anymore. Like, I think so many things went wrong. Maybe with that dive we did. So we just stop here, I guess. And we bring up flaps. Yeah, well, he landed. That's, I guess, the positive. Look at it. My goodness, we'll have to replay that and see what went wrong. Well, how many things went wrong? APU is ready. Let's actually turn that on. Cut off. Let's turn off the wipers. Not that one. No. Turn off the wipers. And I think we can deliver the job now. We can just walk somewhere. There we go. We finished the job, so I'm happy. That was like $4,000 then, I think. On 1 hour and 30-minute flight. Stranded in the middle. Right after the runway. We'll have to rewind that, guys. Let's see what happened. But the good thing is we managed to finish the job. Can you press I to check the failures? Oh yes, good point. Failures. No failed systems, it says. Where? Really? So why was that fumbling around? Wow. Okay, pretty stressful. Let's see, let's rewind. Okay, let's maybe move here. Okay, let's see what happened. When was the point of the problem? Yes. Some things aren't updating anymore. The replay isn't perfect. So we lowered our landing here, was it? At this point, everything was still working, although we did not have fuel there anymore, so I'm not sure if that's an issue. Is that an issue? Do you have to turn off the fuel pumps if there is no more fuel there? I guess. It's getting pretty laggy, guys. 9 FPS. Setting the flaps. So what went wrong?
1,000.
1,000.
That one, yeah, at that point, some things went off. Like the lights went on and all that stuff. Like here, look at that. Yeah, that one.
500. 400.
Just some things are shown. Ah, I see. Yeah, not an accurate way of determining what went wrong, huh? Maybe the best way is to go through the VOD and see what exactly happened.
100.
Landing on the field. No, we're making it. Where's the runway even? It's not even loading properly. We even started to go up again. Bouncy, bouncy. A bit firm landing. But yeah, we're somewhat in the center if you look at it. Goodness, that was a disaster. But yeah, we finished. So, one step more. I really need to practice the approach and landing. It's so confusing. You have to study so many things. And I still don't know what happened. It says electricity and fuel. Well, we did a lot of things right. That's true, to be fair. Yeah. One step forward. Hopefully not 2 steps back. And we actually finished right in time for the stream. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let me actually... It needs a lot of practice. Takeoff is easy. That's true. Once you get to know which buttons to press, how the systems work, it's pretty easy, it's pretty routine. But yeah, the landing and approach is the one which requires real practice. Definitely agree. Speed brakes down. Landing lights off. Probe heat off. Let me see, position lights go back to steady. Let's just finish the rest of the stuff here. APU bleed, generator on, fasten seatbelts off. You guys can all go now if you're still alive. Transponder standby. Hands Clumsy 12 bags, you turn green. At least you're alive, right? Goodness. Fuel pumps off. Window heaters off. Electric hydraulic pumps off. Engine hydraulic pumps off. Circulating fans off. Flight directors off. Auto brake is off. APU off. Engine bleed off. Turn those off as well before they alarm. Cab util power off. IFR pass. Seat power. Emergency exit lights off. Left and right backs off. Oh, not that one. Off. Yaw damper off. Engine start switches in auto. Trim air is off. Not yet. Ground power off. Standby power. Turn that off as well. And turn the battery off. And we are fully shut down now. Panic sign off. Define alive. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Let's look at it from a passenger point of view before we leave. Yeah, let's look at it from a passenger point of view. Let's do a replay with that kind of deal. Yeah, this one. Let's see if this gives us any confidence to what the pilot was doing. Yeah, okay. Speed brakes are on. Maybe they shouldn't be actually. But fine. Speed up a little. Oh, that's a bit way too far already. Okay, there you go. Okay, speed brakes have been turned off, which they should be. Flaps are slowly extending. Not enough though. I think we did that a bit too late. But yeah, from here it did not look too crappy, right? At this point we were still doing good. We were approaching at a steady pace, extending our flaps bit by bit, slowing down bit by bit. And here though, I think things are starting to get hairy. Yeah, that one. Like, wait a minute, we're not at the runway yet. And the flaps aren't even fully extended yet. Oh my god, but that still looks kind of cool if you don't really know what's happening. Passing through trees and lampposts. Okay, maybe that was not a smooth one. And here we are. That's the airport. And then it actually flew again and then landed for the second time. But that view looks beautiful, doesn't it? I'm not sure if that sound is good. It seemed a bit intense. But this is cool. Okay, we managed to finish a flight, and from this view it looks pretty professional actually. Yeah, bounced and everything. All the wrong things you could think of. But good thing X-Plane is pretty forgiving. It didn't classify that as a crash. So at least we managed to finish the FS economy job. Alright, I'm happy. I'm happy. That's good enough progress. Alright. Phew. Stranded in the middle of the airport. Save us. Let's have a look at FS economy before we go. Make sure that that got considered. Right, my flight, not there. Log, that's there. We got 3,400. So yeah, it doesn't pay that well actually, but it's pretty cool that you can still earn something out of it. So income is 3,795. We paid ground crew. Okay, and there is no cost for fuel. That's good. All right, it's perfect. Yeah, that was my other job. That was like the I think it was around 1,500, 1,800 feet per minute. So it was kind of a crash already, but X-Plane was very forgiving that first time. And I wouldn't descend at all, probably because the course was not set properly. So now I know that. That's a huge help. Thank you guys. Alright, but yes, let's just set the amount to 0. Put everything in the bank so it earns interest. And yeah, yes, GG got there in one piece. Progress. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Yul. And I'm learning a lot too, thanks to you guys. So it's thankfully a two-way street. Thank you. Really appreciate you guys being here, and I enjoyed this one. Thank you for the gift, the sub gift again, Alex. And I'll catch you guys in 2 weeks, alright? I won't be here until the 25th, unfortunately, but we'll resume and we'll catch up. Thanks, guys. I told you, Thaddeus, you won't have time to sleep. Too many bloopers happening. But, you're from Montreal and want to start training as a pilot. Oh, that's an amazing dream. Yeah, go for it, man. Good luck if you get it. We'll fly with Clumsy airliners again. Still better than Ryanair. Thanks, guys. Have a good night, everybody. Have a good day. And I'll catch you on Discord in the meantime. Thank you for staying with me and flying with Clumsy Airlines, where everyone bounces. Thanks and bye-bye. Have a good day. Thanks, Alex.